Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. I'm here today with a list of books or series or authors that I will never read or pick up in the future. And I feel like this video has been a long time coming because I planned this for early 2020 and everything was gone. 2020, as we all know, is a big dumpster fire of a year and our plans are all down the drain. So I think my excuse stands because I didn't do anything, which is the whole point. I didn't do anything. I didn't film this video. I didn't upload this video. But there was also the point that I went on a break. But why are we talking about this? Anyway, so these are books or series or authors that attracted me at first, but then I read a few of the authors' books and then I was like, not for me. So I added these books to this list. I think there are about 8 points. I wouldn't say 8 books, but 8 points that I want to talk about in this video. So without further ado, let's get into this video and let me share with you all the books or series or authors that I will never ever pick up. So first on this list is a Mark Manson book. It's called Everything is Fucked and it's sort of a sequel / companion novel to The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and we all know how The Subtle Art went for me. I have an hour-long rant video up on my channel if you want to go check that out, if you want to know why I hate that book with everything within me. So even though I added this book, Everything is Fucked, to my list of books that I'm really excited to read when I actually hadn't read The Subtle Art yet, even though I did that, yes, I made some questionable choices, but in my defense, I didn't know The Subtle Art was going to turn out like that. So now that that's done, I am never going to pick another Mark Manson book again, because I just feel like in the name of self-help, he's just using the word fuck as a hook and he is condescending towards the reader, and it is really tone deaf in a lot of ways, which I've already spoken about, so I won't talk about it and ruin my mood any further. Second on this list is author Nicholas Sparks. There are 2 or 3 reasons why I don't want to pick his books up anymore. The first reason is that a lot of evidence came out last year about him being homophobic in a set of emails that he was sending to the board or something. Let me read them out to you. Nicholas Sparks runs the Epiphany School, a private Christian academy in North Carolina that he founded in 2006. The former headmaster and CEO of the school, his name is Saul Benjamin. When Saul Benjamin raised the issue of the non-discrimination policy, Nicholas Sparks responded saying, "About the non-discrimination policy you keep bringing up, please remember that sexual orientation was not in there originally and that the only reason it was added was that you insisted it be specifically be added. Frankly, no one but you wanted it in there. If possible, we might be able to change it back to what it was before." And in the same email, he also talked about banning student demonstrations after 2 lesbian girls planned to come out with their orientation during chapel sessions. And he was also against the formation of an LGBTQ club. So his response to that was basically, my concern was that if a club were to be founded, it be done in a thoughtful, transparent manner with the knowledge of faculty, students and parents, not in secret and not in a way that felt exceptional. I only wish I had used those exact words. Okay, fine. Everybody in his novels is white. All the main characters, at least the ones I've read so far. And I don't feel like I have to read his books because I have so many other books that I can choose from. Next up is considered the great Friedrich Nietzsche. His views on women have been really controversial for a long time. He's considered one of the greatest philosophers of all time. That's a different matter altogether. But even if he has made some really supportive statements for women, there are also other quotes like, and I quote, "From the beginning, nothing has been more alien, repugnant and hostile to women than truth. Her great art is the lie. Her highest concern is mere appearance and beauty." And in another section, he claims that goodness in women is a sign of physiological degeneration and that women are on the whole cleverer and more wicked than men, which in Nietzsche's view constitutes a compliment. How is that a compliment? You're calling us clever. Okay, you're calling us wicked and that's a compliment? He goes on to claim that the emancipation of women and feminists was merely the resentment of some women against other women who were physically better constituted and able to bear children. There's more. There is more. Woman's love involves justice and blindness against everything that she does not love. Woman is not yet capable of friendship. Women are still cats and birds, or at best, cows. Woman, one half of mankind is weak. Your thinking is weak. I'm not going to read him. Please, bye. Like, there's so much sexism in there against women. Apparently, Wikipedia tells me that he borrowed his thinking, his philosophies from Aristotle. And I'm not going there. Please. No. Nietzsche is a more modern form of Aristotle, maybe. Who knows? I'll never know. Next up is an author who is super controversial because of my dislike for her work. I mean, it's not for her work per se, it's for her writing. The author is Margaret Atwood. Okay, I can feel the heat. Right away, I can feel the heat. See, the thing is that Margaret Atwood is super popular, but her writing is just not for me. I feel like her writing puts the load on the reader's shoulders to connect and make sense of the storyline, and I really don't like it. Like, I did not like The Blind Assassin. I gave it 2 stars. Then I went on to The Handmaid's Tale, which I felt the plot and the setting and everything else was good, but the writing wasn't that great for me. And then I read The Testaments. Maybe The Testaments is a testament to the change over time in her writing, but I did like The Testaments. But otherwise, her older works I'm not really a fan of, so I don't think I will be reading any of her work soon. I have one of her books on my TBR. It's called Surfacing, and I think I'm going to kick it out of my TBR for the time being. Next up is the Divergent series by Veronica Roth. I don't know why this series is on this list, but it deserves a place on this list because I just can't seem to find it in me to say, oh my god, Divergent is on sale, let's go buy it. Never has that happened, and never have I felt that urge to read those books. The movies weren't that great. Even the first one, I was like, okay, a Hunger Games reboot. I know the whole setting and the sci-fi kind of thing, whatever you want to call it, it's that forgettable for me, this series. And I did not even watch Allegiant. Allegiant is the third one, I think. I don't think I will be reading this anytime soon. So let's just never read it anytime soon. Next up are the books of an author who rigged up a storm on Twitter recently. I think it was earlier this year. The author I'm talking about is Sarah Dessen, and what exactly happened was that there was a student who said that she's fine for teen girls but definitely not up to the level of common read. So I became involved simply so I could stop them from ever choosing Sarah Dessen. So Sarah Dessen saw this, and she tweeted mentioning her or something. She used the clip and she was like, authors are real people. We put our heart and soul into the stories we write, often because it is literally how we survive in this world. I'm having a really hard time right now, and this is just mean and cruel. I hope it made you feel good. And I understand that she was hurt by it, but there's a different way of going about this whole thing. You don't bully people on Twitter, you don't chase them off social media, which is exactly what happened. Because the moment Sarah Dessen tweeted this, a bunch of other authors also came out, and I can't even tell the kind of things that some of them tweeted. And a lot of backlash obviously happened because of the way she handled it all. I mean, how mature is she that she has to go around doing this? She obviously apologized later, but it was a half-assed apology, and half-assed apologies don't sit with me. So no, I'm never going to read Sarah Dessen books, ever. Last on this list is... She is such a popular author that I'm having second thoughts about including her in here, but what the hell. The author I'm talking about is Cassandra Clare. And yeah, I know, like, you might say that she is so popular, she writes so very well and all that. There are quite a few reasons why I came to this conclusion that I'm never going to read Cassandra Clare. Apparently, this one, her City of Bones, The Mortal Instruments, the whole series is like a fan fiction of Harry Potter. It's a Ron and Ginny kind of story, and I am like, what? I mean, it speaks of incest also. She's literally saying that it's okay for them to have feelings for each other because they might not be related. And even when they are proven to not be related, and even when they get into a relationship after that, apparently it's very abusive, and I don't want that kind of thing in my life. And her response when someone approached her and said that, okay, as an abuse survivor, this is not right. She said teenage girls aren't stupid, but teenage girls are impressionable. How can you not understand the impact that you're having? I'm like, ah! And the last reason why I don't think I will ever read Cassandra Clare books is because of the fear tactics that she uses to people who say they don't like her works. And she and her lawyers and her team, whoever is there around her, they apparently bully those people. And I'm like, whoa, hold on a damn second, what is wrong with you? So I'm like, I'm going to stay away. Bye. I'm never going to read your books ever. I realize that I think I said 8 points here, 8 books or series or whatever, and I realized there are only 7 because one, I actually read one of those authors' books recently and made a full video review about it. Even though I had quite a few problems with it, I always have problems with that author's works, which is why he was on this list first off. Let's just get it out. It's Chetan Bhagat. But since I thought, okay, let's give him another chance. Since the time I made this list, I did not expect that I would read his book again, but I did. And I did like One Arranged Murder to a certain extent. I mean, it's not like here, but it's okay. It's a good fast-paced one-time read. So I think I can't really include him on this list. So it's going to be only 7. So those were the books or series or authors that I will never ever read. And I think that these are pretty valid reasons, don't you think? So what did you think of this video? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Which of these authors do you think you will never read? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Which is an author or a book or a series or a genre, anything that you will never ever touch in your life? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.